Chapter 1: The Scent of Another Life. The crack in my perfectly constructed life started with a smell. Not the smell of another man's cologne, but the smell of another life. I had returned from a business trip to Lagos a day early. The deal with the Alhajis for the new oil and gas logistics contract had been sealed faster than expected, and I'd taken the first flight back to Abuja, eager to surprise my wife, Nneoma. My latest Toyota Prado, the Jeep that announced my status, cruised smoothly through the well-tarred roads of Ministers Hill Estate. The evening sun was harsh, bouncing off the high fences and the gated compounds of the other big men. It was a landscape of success, a life I, Chukwuma Nwachukwu, had wrestled from the stubborn hands of Nigeria through sweat, connections, and a healthy dose of fear of God. I pulled up to my own imposing black iron gates. Monday, our gateman was there as always. He was a man from my village, OPI, in Enugu State. I had brought him to Abuja 5 years ago when his yam farm failed. He was in his late 40s, his body still strong from a lifetime of work, his uniform, a slightly faded blue security shirt and black trousers, always clean. "Oga, welcome sir. You don't come back," Monday said, a wide, genuine smile spreading across his face. He had that distinct village accent, turning come into come. He rushed to manually swing the heavy gates open, his muscles straining. "Afternoon, Monday. How market?" I asked, performing the obligatory greeting. "God day, Oga." "Thank you." He nodded vigorously. "Madam day for inside." I drove into the compound, the crunch of gravel under my tires a familiar sound of arrival. The house was a massive 2-story, face me I face you style but modernized, with marble floors and imported chandeliers. It was a testament to my success, a beacon for everyone back in the village to see. "Nneoma, I'm back," I called out, my voice echoing in the large parlor. Silence. Then, the soft swish of her wrapper. Nneoma appeared from the kitchen, a vision in a beautiful George wrapper and blouse, her head tied with a matching scarf. She was a classic Igbo beauty, my wife. Her skin glowed, and her figure, even after 2 children, was something the other wives in the estate envied. "Chukwuma. Kidu. You didn't tell me you were coming today." She rushed forward, her arms wrapping around me in a warm hug. I breathed her in. Her signature scent, Michelin perfume from the Baligan market, mixed with the faint, comforting aroma of camwood and shea butter. But underneath it, something else. Something foreign. A faint, earthy smell of cheap soap and okirika, second-hand clothes. It was a smell from the motor park, from the masses, a smell that had no business on the skin of Nneoma Nwachukwu. "I am well, my wife," I murmured into her hair, inhaling again. The alien scent was there, clinging to her like a stubborn spirit. "What have you been doing? You smell like outside." She pulled back, a flash of something, panic, in her eyes before it was replaced by a smooth, practiced calm. "Oh, Chukwuma, this your nose." I was just at the back, checking on the new planting suckers Monday planted. The sun was hot. Oh. It was a plausible lie. Nneoma took a sudden interest in the compound's small garden, though she never did the work herself. I let it go. I was tired from the road, happy to be home. Mama Joy, our house help, brought me a cold bottle of Gouda. We ate pounded yam and egusi soup she had kept for me. Our conversation was the usual, my business, her latest meeting with the Women's Fellowship, the progress of our children in their expensive private school in Gorimpa. It was familiar, the rhythm of a successful Nigerian marriage. But the memory of that strange, poverty-tinged scent on her skin refused to leave my mind. That night, as she snored softly beside me, a deep, untroubled sleep, I lay awake. The generator hummed steadily outside, powering our air conditioners. The clock read 3:04 a.m. I replayed my homecoming. Her surprise. The scent. The way Monday had looked at me, was it just my imagination, or was there a new familiarity in his "Welcome, Oga Chukwuma, you are becoming a foolish man," I told myself. "You are a contractor with connections in the villa. You deal in millions of naira, not in village gossip." But the crack had been made. And an Igbo man, especially one who has built his wealth from nothing, has a nose for danger. My spirit, my chi, was restless. Chapter 2: The Unraveling. The following week, I became a spy in my own home. By day, I was Oga Chukwuma, the big man. By night, I was a hunter, searching for the footprints of a beast in my own compound. I started to see things. Nneoma's phone, which used to lie openly on the center table, was now always on her person, tucked into her wrapper. She had changed her pattern lock. Chinik. "With all these Yahoo boys everywhere, a woman must protect herself," she said when I noticed. Then there were her new errands. She started going to Woos Market almost every Tuesday and Friday afternoon, something she had long delegated to Mama Joy. "The market women, they know me. I get better price," she'd say. One evening, I drove back early and saw them. Nneoma and Monday, standing by the generator house. They weren't talking about generator petrol or plantains. They were standing close. She was laughing, a real, throaty laugh I hadn't heard in years, her hand resting on his bare arm as if it was the most natural thing in the world. When my headlights swept over them, she jumped back as if shocked. Monday instantly became the servant, bowing his head and shuffling away. "My husband, welcome," Nneoma said, her voice too bright. "What were you and Monday discussing that was so funny?" I asked, my voice dangerously calm. "Oh, that man and his stories," she waved a dismissive hand. "He was telling me about a funny dream he had about a goat that could speak English. These village people, eh?" It was a ridiculous explanation. So why did it feel like a carefully constructed lie? The poison of suspicion entered my blood. Our marital bed, once a place of comfort and occasional, familiar passion, now felt like a lie. I found myself searching her body for the imprint of rough hands, listening for a name that wasn't mine in her sleep. I was becoming a stranger, a haunted big man in a big house. The breaking point came on a Thursday. I told Nneoma I was going to see a contractor in Kobwa. Instead, I drove to a dingy beer parlor in Naira, a place where no one would know me. Sitting on a plastic chair, the smell of suya and spilled beer in the air, I called a number given to me by my friend, Chief Anezi, a man who had survived 3 wives. "Oga Tiga," a voice rasped on the phone. "The problem where you describe, no N20000 for front. My boys go do the rest." I transferred the money. 2 days later, Oga Tiga called. "No, I'm be the Gateman. Monday Okafor. From your village. The affair done there for about 3 months. Them they meet for one small hotel for Area 1, behind the market. God's Grace Guest House. She dey go with one small Corolla car where she tell you say she dey give her cousin. She dey pack for inside the hotel. My boys get video." The word did not end. It simply stopped making sense. The words, delivered in pidgin English, the language of the streets, felt more real and more devastating than any financial report. I was in my air-conditioned office, but I was sweating. My wife, Nneoma, the mother of my children, the woman for whom I built this empire, was cheating on me. And not with a fellow contractor or a politician. She was sleeping with our gateman, my brother from my own village. The humiliation was a physical sickness. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the abomination of it. It was like finding a cockroach in your plate of white rice. I, Chukwuma Mochuku, had been disgraced by the help. The shame was hotter than the anger. Chapter 3: The Confrontation. I drove to the National Prayer Center and just sat in my car, staring at the cross. How could God let this happen? I was a good man. I paid my tithes. I was building a hostel for my village school. I had to confront her. But my mind, trained in business and strategy, saw a different path. Revenge. Not a hot-headed revenge, but a cold, calculated one that would restore my honor. But first, I needed to understand this madness. Why? What did Monday have that I did not have? I decided to talk to Monday first. I waited for his day off. I followed his downfall bus from a distance, my prodo feeling obscenely large in the narrow streets of Koru where he lived. He got down and entered a compound of Face Me I Face You rooms. I watched him for a moment, sitting outside his room on a plastic chair, listening to the radio. He looked peaceful. I stepped out of the car. Monday. He froze. The radio was quickly switched off. He stood up slowly, his face a mask of fear and shame. He knew. Oga, he whispered, his head bowing. Welcome, sir. We need to talk, I said, my voice like steel. He simply nodded and led me into his single room. It was small, but clean. A mosquito net hung over a small bed. A picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus was on the wall, next to a faded photograph of his old mother in the village. I didn't sit down. How long? I asked, the Igbo words feeling heavy on my tongue. He did not lie. 3 months, Oga, he said to the floor. Kidu aichi kotaraya. Why? My voice trembled with rage. He was silent for a long time, his shoulders slumped. Oga, madam, she did cry sometimes. I scoffed. Cry? About wetin? She no get food to eat. She no get car to drive. She no get children wey dey go best school. Wetin she dey cry for? She dey cry because of loneliness, Oga, he said, finally looking up. His eyes were filled with a pity that enraged me further. She say when you dey house, you dey with your phone for meeting, you dey with your papers. She say you no dey hear word again. She say she dey feel like one of the furniture for the house. But when she dey talk to me, I dey listen. I dey hear her. For those times for that hotel, she no be Madam Nwachukwu. She just be Nneoma. And I just be Monday wey dey feel like man. The simplicity of it was a spear through my heart. I provided the word, but he provided an ear. I gave her a throne, and she descended to sit on a plastic chair with a man who had nothing. My failure as a husband was now being explained to me by my gateman. My anger was now a cold, hard stone in my belly. Listen to me, you this foolish man, I hissed, stepping closer. If you value your life, if you want your mother in the village to still have a son, you will never look at my wife again. You will pack your things from my compound before I return today. If I see your face tomorrow, you will see what I am capable of. The threat was clear, Nigerian style. He nodded, his whole body trembling. I hear, Oga. I go come out. I turned and left, the smell of his poor man's room, a mix of kerosene and old wood, a permanent stain in my memory. Chapter 4, The Shattering. The confrontation with Nneoma was biblical. I didn't shout immediately. I walked into the parlor, saw her watching Nollywood, and said, with a calm that foreshadowed the storm, I know about you on Monday. I have sent him away. The remote control fell from her hand. The color drained from her face, leaving her looking like a ghost. Chukwuma. 3 months. God's Grace Guest House. You used the Corolla. I listed the facts like a judge reading a verdict. She broke. The way that came from her was primal, the cry of a woman who knew her world had ended. She fell to the marble floor, tearing at her scarf. You. Chukwuma, Baiko. Forgive me. The devil used me. The devil. I thundered, my calm finally shattering. The devil is now from OPI. Was it the devil that made you open your legs for that hungry village man? What did I not do for you? Tell me. Is it money? Is it house? Is it children? The truth, mixed with hysterical tears, poured out. She spoke of her loneliness, of feeling like a trophy, of her marriage being a business where she was the manager of the home front. She said I was never present. And Monday was present. I roared, the sarcasm dripping like poison. A man who cannot even write his name properly. He makes you feel like a woman. Then you are a woman of low standards. Hearing my wife, an educated woman, justify her abomination with tales of emotional neglect was a deeper betrayal than the act itself. My neglect was now the headline, and her adultery was a footnote. I want a divorce, I declared, the words final and heavy. She screamed, begging, invoking the names of our children. But my heart had turned to stone. The shame was too great. The following weeks were chaos. Nneoma was sent to her father's house in the village in disgrace. My phone did not stop ringing. Her people came begging. Chukwuma, my son, consider the children. It is the work of the enemy. She has confessed and repented. But I was unmoved. The humiliation in the eyes of my fellow big men was too much to bear. The story was already spreading, you hear. Chukwuma Nwachukwu's wife was doing ayamatanga with his gateman. I was a laughing stock. The divorce, by Nigerian custom, was messy. Her family returned a large part of the bride price, a final, public act of shame for her. I allowed her to see the children, but she would never be Mrs. Nwachukwu again. I heard she moved to Enugu and started a small boutique. I was alone in the big house. Mama Joy and the new, stern gateman I hired from a security company walked on eggshells around me. I threw myself into work, chasing bigger contracts, but the joy was gone. The money was just paper. I had won. I had cast out the sinner and reclaimed my honor. So why did I feel so utterly defeated? Chapter 5, The Hollow Big Man. A year passed. I was the ogre of an empty castle. I went to church, but the prayers felt empty. I attended meetings, but the laughter was hollow. I was a monument to success, but inside, I was a ruin. One rainy August afternoon, a transformer blew in the estate. The generator was out of fuel. The new gateman, a young Yoruba boy, was clueless. I stood at my window, frustrated, watching the rain. I remembered Monday, who always kept a jerrycan of fuel in reserve and could fix a faulty generator with a piece of wire and a prayer. A strange feeling, not quite nostalgia, tugged at me. Driven by an impulse I couldn't name, I got into my Prodo and drove to Koru. The rain was turning the dusty roads to mud. I found the compound and asked a woman selling akara about Monday. Oh, that one. He don't come out since. Him dey drive down for Mararaba route now, she said. I found the park, a chaotic, noisy place. And there he was. Monday, in a simple vest and trousers, shouting one chance. Bagger, to attract passengers. He looked thinner, older, worn down by the harshness of the road. He saw me and froze, a look of pure terror on his face. We stood there in the rain, the big man and the downfall driver, amidst the chaos of hawkers and hustlers. Oga, he whispered, his head bowing instinctively. I heard you drive downfall now, I said, my voice flat. Yes, Oga. Nor so life be. The new gateman is a fool. The generator has failed. He said nothing, just stared at the muddy ground. Why did you do it, Monday? I asked, the question that had haunted me for a year finally asked not in anger, but in genuine, weary confusion. Were you not my brother? Did I not bring you from the village? He looked up, and the fear in his eyes was replaced by a profound sadness. Oga, you be my brother. And you be good Oga. But madam, her heart was empty. And my own pocket was empty. An empty heart and empty pocket, them they attract each other. It was a madness, Oga. A terrible madness. I have carried the shame back to my village. My own mother no fit hold her head high. I have suffered. His confession was not poetic. It was raw, Nigerian truth. It wasn't about love or passion. It was about emptiness and opportunity. It was sordid, common, and tragically human. The last of my anger dissolved in the rain. He was not a demon, he was a poor man who had made a stupid, costly mistake. And I was not just a victim, I was a busy man who had forgotten his wife. I am starting a new logistics company, I heard myself say. We need drivers we can trust for VIP clients. The pay is better than Danfo. You will have a uniform and a proper salary. He stared at me, his mouth agape. Oga, you dey offer me work. After waiting I do. This is not forgiveness, I said sharply, my business sense taking over. This is business. I know you are a capable driver and an honest man who made one foolish error. I need capable men. Do you want the job or not? Tears mixed with the rain on his face. Oga, I want God bless you, Oga. My mother go pray for you. Report to my office in Central area on Monday morning. 8 a.m. Don't be late. I handed him my business card, got back in my Prodo, and drove away. I didn't do it for him. I did it for me. The burden of hate was too heavy to carry. My pastor was right, bitterness is a poison you drink hoping another person will die. I was tired of being the hollow, angry big man. Chapter 6, A New Path. Monday showed up at 8 a.m. sharp, in his best clothes. He was hired. He has been working for my company for 8 months now. He drives my most important clients. They appreciate his quiet, careful demeanor. We see each other in passing. We nod. There are no long talks. The past is a locked room. Nneoma called me once. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She just said, Chukwuma, thank you for taking care of our children. I am at peace now. I simply said, good, and hung up. I saw the big house in Minister's Hill. The memories were too loud. I built a smaller, more modern bungalow in Jobi, a home, not a monument. I work less. I go to my children's school events. I am learning to be a father, not just a provider. The story of my wife and our Gateman is not a story with a happy ending. It is a Nigerian story of shame, loss, and a slow, difficult redemption. The betrayal broke me, but in the broken places, God began a new work. I am no longer just Oga Chukwuma, the big man. I am also Chukwuma, a man who is learning, through great pain, that true wealth is not in the height of your fence, but in the peace within your compound. The road is still long, but for the first time, I am walking it with my eyes open, and my heart, though scarred, is still beating.